Welcome, everyone, to this week's edition of 5 Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez, alongside my co-host, Albert Cita. I want to thank you all for joining us here, whether it be on audio version, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Podomatic, Spotify, or if you're watching us, you're seeing our lovely faces on YouTube. Thank you very much for taking the time out to hang out with us here for the next 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how long each round goes. This week, we got a lot to talk about. We got some AEW reactions to possibly one of the best matches of the year so far. We're going to talk about one superstar who's very unhappy in the WWE, requesting for his release. Our reactions on that one. We're going to talk about the news of the two fighters who are going to be fighting for the vacant UFC lightweight championship, and also we're going to preview UFC 260. So got a lot to talk about here, but Albert Cita, I want to ask you the big news of this week. Have you seen Zack Snyder's Justice League?
Of course I have, and not only that, last night I started watching the first Justice League, the one that
Josh Whedon,
the one they botched up. And yeah, there's some serious, like I never seen it before. I went straight to the Snyder cut. I finished it. Dude, there is some serious pacing issues with the Josh Whedon one.
Yeah.
Serious pacing issues, and I can see why some people got turned off if you're not a hardcore comic book fan, because I didn't even know what the box, like I just saw the Snyder cut, and then when I was watching I was like, yeah, they haven't even mentioned what the heck the box is.
The
like,
other boxes are, yeah.
Why did they get activated? Why are they even there? Like, yeah, I was like, dude, like I was confused. And the other thing too that I noticed was Flash, even as annoying as he is as a character, he was better shown in the Snyder cut than in the other one. The other one, not only do you just get his annoyance, but like he doesn't really have a major role as much as you really build him up in the Snyder cut.
Yeah.
So I was like, it did Flash justice on the other one. So like, well, why I bring that up is because Marvel's all about getting the kids to, you know, pick their favorite character and then like kind of embrace that character. And I think Flash was kind of geared towards the kids, but he didn't get enough screen time. So how's he supposed to become like a little star? You know what I'm saying? And in Schneider's cut, I thought they used him properly. So.
Yeah. Well, again, it's really credit to how a certain vision, right?
Yeah.
It's a director's vision, how he needs to put it out, give him time to do it. It's almost like Warner Brothers. You see, like instead of having one 4-hour long movie, you could have had 3 or 4 really good 2-hour movies. That's what Marvel does, but Warner Brothers wanted to crank it out right away, and
it's just so crazy that the movie like felt rushed. Like you felt the rushness in the film.
And the original one, right?
Yeah,
the 2017
the
version.
One,
yeah. So Zack Snyder, I mean, I think he's really kind of like you either like him or you hate him, right?
Yeah.
His style, because he's so stylistic.
Yeah, and then the other that's your thing in the Snyder cut, you really get to see Snyder's way of filmmaking. Like he's really in love with the slow motions and the way he paces his film.
Music he selects too.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's why Watchmen was such a success, because it really let him show like what he likes to see, and it just works so well when it comes to that type of genre. And in the first Justice League, it really didn't have that much touch of a Snyder look. Until you get to the Snyder cut.
Yeah, we're gonna get a little deep water here really quick, but Marvel fans online, they're all about comic accurate, right? Yeah. Whenever there's a comic accurate uniform or costume in a movie, it's so comic accurate. Look at Marvel's so great. But so now Snyder's done 300, Watchmen, and now this 4-hour long Justice League and the Batman versus Superman, Man of Steel. I mean, does it really get more comic accurate than 300 and Watchmen?
300 is a page by. I mean, I remember when I first saw that movie, how like mind blown I was that someone finally like understood like a graphic novel.
There's a panel right there for you, right?
Yeah.
There's a storyboard right there.
I was so frustrated with Fantastic Four and all these other like comic book ones, even graphic novels, and finally when I saw 300, I was like, oh, finally somebody gets it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's funny because like James Gunn gets so much credit. The Russo brothers, who are talented, but I think they're just really good glorified babysitters, just don't mess it up and they got it. But Zack Snyder's like an auteur.
Yeah.
Not as good as Christopher Nolan, but he's like right there when it comes to his vision. So whether you are a Marvel or a DC fan, if you're a comic book fan, you have to watch a 4-hour Justice League movie.
If you're ever the guy that starts the trend, says a lot. So because before Snyder, Anybody can say whatever they want, but before Schneider, nothing was some big budget, big studio produced thing until Schneider came around.
He did the whole green screen, actors in front of a green screen. Well, it's gonna it's almost rarity for a Marvel movie that take place in live action, right? The whole thing is a green screen. So, and I'm coming from a Marvel fan, so I'm just you gotta take and critique everything. But bravo Schneider, bravo Warner Brothers, HBO Max for letting that happen here, man.
And
crazy.
For the record, I'm all for 4-hour movies. I wish there's going to be in my lifetime. There's going to be 8-hour movies where I gotta like what are we doing today, Albert? Oh, going to the movies, and then what? No, that's what I'm doing. I'm going
watching
to
8-hour movie.
I'm gonna watch an 8-hour movie. I really wish we get to that point. I love it.
We might get there one day. Who knows? All right, it's enough movie talk. We're going to talk about some professional wrestling here. So let's get started with round number 1. Why don't we? Here, timer started. So last week's AEW Dynamite, which was on St. Patrick's Day, I had no idea until halfway through the day it was St. Patrick's Day. Was it St. Patty's Day Slam, or I don't know what it was called. Main event was an unsanctioned lights out match between anything goes between Thunder Rosa and Dr. Britt Baker. Woo! DDS. It was a hardcore match, basically, or Extreme Rules match or whatever, lights out, unsanctioned, whatever. There was tables, there were chairs, there were thumbtacks in this match. So I had no idea that this feud got this boiled over. Was that correct in your following of this feud? It was that it needed a climax in a lights out match, or we're just kind of just thrown together.
Well, it's the feud was there. But because there's so much other stuff going on in AEW, I think the buildup got lost.
Yeah.
And when I originally saw that this was going to be the main event, not that I mind, it didn't bother me that it was the main event, but I had to remind myself like, oh wait, yeah, they do hate each other. Yeah, exactly. And then when I think they understood it, because if people do follow AEW, they usually have, when they're trying to build something up, they have road to
whatever,
this one, St. Patrick's Day Slam, and so they review the storyline and what got us here, and then that legit helped, because I was like, oh yeah, that's right, so then it made sense to me, and then now I understood the buildup.
Now why the need for an unsanctioned lights out match between these two, because it's such bitter rivalry that only way this feud could be ended is with putting each other through thumbtacks and chairs and stuff like that. Tables.
And this goes more for Thunder Rosa's side, because if you follow Thunder Rosa, she's more the edgier, hardcore type.
Yeah.
And it kind of like this led up to her proving herself.
Okay, so real quick, thoughts on the match alone. You're not you said many times before you're not a fan of this hardcore style, extreme style.
I hate it.
So Dave Meltzer gave this 4 3/4 stars. Your rating on this match?
It was really good. I mean, I'm not a fan. Like, as long as they do these type of matches like here and there, sporadically, I'm fine. And sometimes you just need it. And like when it's blood just for the fact of entertainment, I hate it. This one made perfect sense. Like you said, like if you watch the road to, you see this is going to bowl over.
It was a bitter feud.
Yeah. And then like they paint They paint Thunder Rosa like a really tough, like you saw, like I guess her savage side this time. I mean, it all made sense. Man, Britt Baker, dude, she was so bloody. She must be a professional juicer.
Well, she's a doctor.
Maybe because she's a doctor.
She's a dentist.
And she knew exactly where to make the incision, because man, she was bleeding all over the place. But yeah, when they use it in this way, I like it. And it even got to a point like I kind of didn't want to watch all that blood out there. There was some spots I thought were kind of but I get it. It's the first one of its kind for AEW, so you kind of don't want to mess it up. So you try to be a little bit too perfect. But other than that, I think for once I agree with Dave Meltzer. I think that was a 4-point whatever match, and I loved it. Again, if next week we have a similar match again, I'm gonna get a little bit pissed off though, because you're kind of losing it now.
Yeah, I think I definitely, it's a four-star match for me. I think if I was like 13 or 14 years old, I would have marked out harder for the barbed wire and like the thumbtacks and the tail. Oh my god, because I was an ECW mark when it during its heyday, but at that time I was 12, 13. I had a lot of testosterone and like, oh, it's cool, it's blood. But as you get older, you watch back at it now. The old ECW doesn't really hold up.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me think about it too. Like during the old ECW, the original ECW, my favorite wrestler was RVD.
Who didn't do that stuff.
He had the chairs and stuff like that, but it was just his style. Was the best one, right? Yeah. I feel like Tony Khan, like his favorite wrestler probably was Tommy Dreamer, right?
Or Sandman.
or Sabu. That's all that's especially was, because you do see he was in love with his love for ECW does come out and stuff like this.
Yeah.
I think it's a great match. Dave, let me get your thoughts on this, because this was pre-recorded before it was released, right? Okay. Dave Meltzer said that, I heard that this match is one of the best matches that AEW's ever had for the women's match. And then Dave Meltzer, what he says is gospel. Uh-huh. Do you think that kind of already built people's minds up already, or did the match deliver, you think?
Well, lucky for me, I didn't even see Dave Meltzer's comments. Uh-huh. So I can truly say, like, I saw it without even knowing that he had already said that. Yeah. But I know it does affect a lot of the marks out there.
Do you like that, though, when he says like that?
No, like everybody else, I think it's bad that Dave Meltzer's so close to the AEW guys that you almost discredit yourself when you do stuff like that, and then you really bash WWE. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like you have to go in it with an open mind, and him being so close, it actually hurts the product instead of helping it. But before we got out of it, I didn't want to bring up like the art of the thumbtacks. Uh-huh. People forget, like, the thumbtacks isn't necessarily there for like something like like you're going to see something crazy. To me, the art of the thumbtacks is like, who's going to go in it? And when you play to the crowd, like, it's going to be her, and then they switch it. Like, I always like that, and I thought they did that spot awesome the way it's supposed to be. And I feel like a lot of wrestlers don't understand the thumbtacks. What's the role of the thumbtacks in there?
I think too. Even though Thunder Rosa won the match, Britt Baker's the star. I think she has her own T-shirt now. AEW is really capitalizing on Britt Baker. This is kind of her Stone Cold versus Bret Hart moment, though. Even though Stone Cold lost, it was him that was bloodied, and people remember most for that. I think Thunder Rosa, who's been active for a very long time, I do think that AEW wants to go with Britt Baker, and then we'll push her to the stratosphere next after this.
I'm still with. I think they're waiting for fans.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. But I'm saying, but this is going to be more. Even though Thunder Rosa won, Britt Baker came out the star in this one. So kudos to both of them. Good, put on a great performance. Again, this is, sports entertainment, but it's a performance, and the two artists painted a great picture.
I know we're way over, but I just wanted your thought on it. You know how Britt Baker's been there for Adam Cole's big matches NXT? Uh-huh. Do you think Triple H is cool enough to let Adam Cole go watch Britt Baker?
Nope.
That sucks, though, if you think about it, because this is a big moment, not just for Britt Baker, but for for the women's wrestling in AEW, and it would have been cool for her significant other to be there.
Nope, Adam Cole has his own fish to fry. Well, from what I heard, I mean, we're going back to the producers for NXT and the directors, they didn't even know who Britt Baker was. They just knew that she was Adam Cole's wife, and that's why they put her on the crowd, supposedly. But I don't know. Anyways, but congratulations to Thunder Rosa. Congratulations to Britt Baker on a great match. I think, again, the highest rated match in AEW. It's only 2 years old, but still, it's setting the benchmark. Now we just need a really great technical match.
Yes.
To get 4 3/4 or a 5-star match.
100%.
Because we cannot set this precedent where, in order for women to get this high rating, they got to go through thumbtacks and tables and stuff like that. So,
like, again, I think it's
on the AEW side.
Yeah. I think it's perfect because now you got all the eyes on the women's division. It worked out perfectly that it was the main event, but like you said, now you have to have a good technical match.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
If you want to keep the ball rolling.
So, all right, congratulations both. We got round number 2 coming up next.
5-round MMA.
Welcome back. Time for round number 2. Let me get this timer started here. So, Albert, on this podcast, we tend to focus more on what's happening on screen in professional wrestling, right?
Yes.
Because we could get into the dirt sheets and what happens backstage and reports and rumors, But if you do that, man, it's gonna be
Yeah,
you're going down a rabbit hole
Yeah.
that I don't think you and I really want to get to.
And I don't think the audience want to see a 5-hour show.
No,
Because that's what's going to end up happening.
and then obviously we're a little older now, so it's like let's just enjoy what's going on in front of the screen and see and kind of judge the product based on that. Because if we kind of go to so and so said this or so and so is trying to bury this person and that person, it's all rumors, it's all hearsay. And, you believe, I believe Dave Meltzer. No, I believe was it Sap from it's kind of we don't know what's true, what's not true.
Yeah.
But we do know it's true unless it comes from the wrestler directly from themselves, right? And Andrade, former NXT World Champion, former 5-star winner of Dave Meltzer ratings. Him and Johnny Gargano had a 5-star match during NXT a couple years ago. Has not been seen on TV for a very long time. He had a pretty good run about a year ago during the pandemic, right? It was him, Selena Vega. Who else? It was Austin Theory, wasn't it? A couple, and one other person. I forget his name.
Third member. Man.
Yeah,
it
anyway.
escapes me too, but
Yeah.
they were on a roll.
like a little stable, right?
What's his name?
Angel Garza.
Yeah.
Angel Garza was
Yeah,
like the
there you go.
little stable, right?
Hey, wait, what happened to Angel Garza too?
He's just buried, not even on television. So Andrade has not been seen at all, and then it was last week comes out and says, "Yep." Speculated he asked for his release.
Yeah.
Randomly asked for his release from WWE. Okay, that's rumor. We're not going to really address it on the show because it's we don't know what happened. But went to his Twitter account. Andrade said, "Yep, the rumors are true, and I don't know what their future holds, but I want to make my dreams come true. Thank you for giving me such support these last days." So he's addressed the rumors that I did ask for my release from WWE. His request was denied. So they basically said, take a seat, click the paycheck, we'll call you when we need you.
Yep.
Now, this kind of goes to the kind of thing we've been talking about, these professional wrestlers, right? Some are artists, some just want to,
A paycheck.
a paycheck.
Which
They're
is fine.
totally fine. I mean, but Andrade seems like the type of person who wants to perform. Let him perform. What are your thoughts on the WWE not using him and him asking for his release, and should they release him?
See, we had a conversation about NXT a few podcasts ago, and I feel like this is where NXT should shine, or NXT fits the perfect mold for WWE. When you have someone like this that's so talented, you know that he's a threat if he goes anywhere else as far as moving the ratings and being used well. That's why he didn't get released, right? Instead of just icing him, right? Because it's not right, and plus you have a good stock there. Send him back to NXT. NXT roster is already, it's bulging how much people and wrestlers and talent they got in there. Just do a straight up like, which one of you guys wants to come to the big league? We might not use you right away off the bat, but we need to have someone on reserve just in case. I'm pretty sure you can find tons of guys from NXT that are willing to go up there, right? You move Andrade down. He has a bunch of good matches with Finn Balor.
Adam
Cole. Let's say he starts picking up steam again. And then finally, like, you know what? We found something for him. You bring him back up. That's why I feel like that's NXT's role should be. Because I feel like that's kind of what happened to Finn Balor. Finn Balor just the timing wasn't right. And instead of sitting him on the shelf, he's down in NXT and trying to make that brand compete. So I think this is WWE's opportunity to finally use NXT the way he should be used.
But like you said there, if they see the value in him and not releasing him, then why not use him?
Vince is the only one that knows why he uses why. And in reality, like it doesn't make sense to me, because you before their mindset was the same like UFC, where they're trying to expand the brand to other regions. And so the international stars were really important. Like Shinsuke was really important at one point, because they're what's his name, the guy from India, oh my gosh,
Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal being the champion. All these superstars were they were getting this push for a reason. They wanted to, just like the UFC, go more regional, which made sense. And now it almost feels like they abandoned that shit.
What do you think the pandemic has something to do with that then?
But
Because they can't travel year round.
I get that, but you can still keep the international fans a little taste. And I think Andrade is very well respected in the Mexican community and the Lucha Libre community. And to tell you the truth, my cousins, who hardly ever watch wrestling, love this guy.
Yeah.
And they bring up all the time like, hey, they legit ask me like, hey, where's Andrade? I'm like, dude, I wish I knew. I don't know where he's at.
Yeah, and it's actually refreshing too to see a lot of people not really bashing the guy. They know he's talented and say, hey, because it's either like this, he's ungrateful. He should be grateful he's in the WWE, or like.
And then WWE, on top of this, it's WWE's fault. They fired what's her name?
Selena Vega.
Sorry.
Selena Vega.
Selena Vega. And that kind of killed the push too, if you think about it, because she was a perfect manager for him. Like sometimes they get it right when it comes to manager and talent. Like Paul Heyman.
It was a good pair.
It was a perfect pair. Andrade's English is not that well. Selena Vega is a good trash talker, and she has in-ring ability, so she can get physical sometimes. It was ever since they let her go, that was pretty much the push there.
Yeah,
so.
and you're almost kind of scared that they'll end up in AEW and that pair
and
again.
They can.
So, well, we hope the best for Andrade, and maybe the WWE will use him or not, or let him go, man. Let the artist perform.
Please.
Let the artist perform. So that's it for round number 2. We're gonna come back and talk about the announced hosts of WrestleMania this year. So don't go anywhere.
5-round MMA.
Welcome back. Time for round number 3 here. Timer started. We are on the road to WrestleMania, April 10th and 11th in Tampa, Florida. And this trend happened a couple years ago. I think, was The Rock the first official host of WrestleMania?
I don't know. I hate it. I hate having a host.
Yeah, last year was Gronkowski. Bless you there, Albert.
I don't know what.
This year it's announced that the immortal Hulk Hogan and Titus O'Neil are going to be the host for this year's WrestleMania. And granted, the hosts don't really do anything.
No, but
right?
you know what they're doing here, right?
What are they doing? I don't know what they're doing.
I don't want to be that guy, but someone has to address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Let's not forget, Hogan was kind of blackballed for some.
Oh, right. His racial comments. Yeah.
So, who do they pair him up with?
Titus O'Neil, the nicest man in professional wrestling.
And not only, but see, Titus O'Neil is a very educated man. Maybe not the best in-ring talent, but he is a good speaker. Mm-hmm. So I feel
good ambassador for WWE.
Yeah, so I feel like this is why they paired them together. And I see what they're doing. I think Vince is trying to ease Hogan in, but at the same time, kind of go past these comments because everybody knows that Vince has always looked for his Babe Ruth, right? He wants his Babe Ruth to WWE, and it's Hogan. Let's keep it real. It's Hogan, and I think he just wants to start using him again, but you can't.
Really?
You can't just skip the issue, and I think this is how they're going to address it.
I don't think it's using Hogan again. I think they're restricted on who they could bring in, and I think Hogan lives in Tampa. So hey, Hogan, you can't. No, I don't think they want to fly anybody in because of COVID restrictions. Hogan, you live in Tampa, right? Oh yeah, brother, I'll take a drive up. He's a name.
So you don't think it was a strategy to put Titus with Hogan because of his comment?
Oh, that for sure.
No,
but specifically,
they use him. Oh, okay.
Specifically for Hogan, I don't think they had Hogan as in mind since day one for this.
I think this is what happened. Vince is in panic mode. He's like, let's hit up the big stars. The Rock, nope, I ain't doing it. Brock, nope, I ain't doing it.
Stone Cold,
nope, I ain't doing it. Well, brother, let's go with Hogan then.
He's a drive up from Tampa, so exactly. There you go. And I think Titus O'Neil, from what I heard, one of the nicest guys ever. Yeah. I think they don't use him to wrestle, but they use him as an ambassador. Like Titus O'Neil here. Is it exciting? I don't know. I think Hogan in 2021 is definitely over. I think he overstayed his welcome 10, 15 years ago. Obviously, his personal life and his comments and people realizing that he's kind of a crappy person has really hurt the character of Hulk Hogan, the brand of Hulk Hogan. Yeah. But maybe this will, I don't know, do something. I don't understand the need for a host.
I have never understood the need for a host for WrestleMania.
I think
they're already hurting for time when it comes to WrestleMania. They moved it to 2 days. They still have problems booking it. You don't need a host. You don't need a host.
You don't need to cut 3 to 5 minutes for Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan.
They could have just easily made him the special announcers.
Yeah.
And I think he still would have gotten the message across with one bit. One bit. and then announcer the rest of the time.
They're trying to make it more of a spectacle and a show, but hey, man, just you got 2 nights of wrestling matches. Keep it what it is. Wrestle Kingdom's been doing it. Just match 1 through.
Yeah.
And there you go. Have the people just announce it. And I think I read this kind of shocking thing that we're about 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, and they've only had 4 announced matches, like officially announced.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be a two-night show.
Wow.
So a lot of filler, you think?
A super filler, and then we still got Fastlane, right?
Yeah, which is happening. We're recording this on a Sunday, so it's happening today. So we'll have a reaction to Fastlane next week.
So they pretty much
Thanks for the reminder.
So they pretty much have 1 week, is what you're telling me,
to develop the rest of the card.
Oh, bro, come on.
If they go the AEW route and have a lot of battle royals, I'm gonna be mad, dog.
You be mad?
I'm gonna be mad.
All right, what's the over under the battle royal? I say they have 1 each day.
1 each day. Oh my! A women's battle royal, then a man.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know what? If you can't make the show, you no need to throw you in there in a 6-man ladder match, in an 8-team tag team match, in a 20-person battle royal. Man, I would rather have a card of like 6 or 7 really good matches,
Solid matches,
than like 2 nights of just, well, everybody needs to get in here. Everybody deserves a WrestleMania. No, not everybody deserves a WrestleMania moment. I'm sorry. Either you're at the cream of the crop,
Or you're not.
Or you're not. Yeah. I'm sorry, bro. Like, people might not like that, but
In a way,
that's the way it is.
I think it fires up wrestlers if they get excluded. You get me? That squash match that Daniel Bryan had was all the momentum he needed to carry him to the next WrestleMania.
Yep.
And so sometimes you don't need to book everybody. It can actually help. You want him to grab the brass ring? There's a Raw right after WrestleMania.
Grab
it then.
All right, that's it for round number 3. We're going to take a short break and enter the championship rounds next. We're going to focus on mixed martial arts. We're going to talk about, well, I was really surprised when the UFC announced the 2 fighters who are going to fight for the vacant lightweight title. We'll talk about that coming up next.
5-round MMA.
Welcome back. Time for the 4th round. Sorry, let's check the rounds here. We're going to talk about mixed martial arts here. It was announced last week that Charles Oliveira will take on Michael Chandler for the vacant UFC lightweight championship and will headline UFC 262, which is going to take place in May 15th. This is a bit of a surprise to me. Well, not because Charles Oliveira, I think you beat Tony Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
You're in line for a championship fight,
Yep.
man. That's my opinion here. Michael Chandler, apparently beating Dan Hooker gets you a title shot in the UFC, I guess. Your thoughts on them fighting for the vacant lightweight? Now that Khabib is officially retired now, reports that Dana White had one more dinner with him and not going to happen. They both, which I don't know why. Honestly, I really do think that the only reason why Dana White was so anxiously trying to get Khabib to retire is for Conor McGregor.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
That's it. Nobody else.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the matchup. I'm not. I think Michael Chandler is a world-class athlete, and he has proven that he is the cream of the crop.
Former Bellator champion.
Yeah, and so I'm not mad at the matchup, but I am surprised, but then I'm not. So I'm surprised that Dustin Poirier just didn't position himself as to go for the belt.
We're going to talk about that next.
But at the same time, I'm not surprised that he wants some money.
Exactly. So what's worth more? A rematch with Conor McGregor or the light?
It's clearly a rematch.
Isn't that crazy? Like, this belt means nothing to people. It's the money.
But then, like, this is what I was thinking in my head. I think it also extends potential big matchups.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, let's say Michael Chandler wins, right? And even if Dustin wins, you already have a match set up there.
It's a good fight fans match.
If Conor wins against Michael Chandler, you got another good matchup there.
Mm-hmm.
If the spoiler, which is Charles Oliveira, wins against Dustin, it's a fresh matchup.
Mm-hmm. Dustin versus
McGregor
versus
Charles Oliveira. That's the only one I'm like, I don't know. I think he might even come in and steal that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, mostly because I don't think McGregor has a chance. It's Oliveira. Is that why? Because
I just think there's not enough juice in there for the UFC to back that matchup up. Unless, like,
marketing wise,
yeah. Unless Charles Oliveira just destroys Michael Chandler, that they're like, dude, I think we could sell it if Conor wins.
Yeah. You know what sucks is that even though this is supposed to be for Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler, it still revolves Conor McGregor, right? And McGregor
100%.
even said the future 155
champion.
lightweight champion. He tweeted it out. So again, Dustin Poirier probably says, you know what? I want my red panty night with McGregor, even though I
want it for the
knocked him
third
out.
time.
I knocked him out, but yet we're gonna have an immediate rematch just to cleanse Dana White and please him.
I don't know if you know this, Alex. It takes a lot of money to start up a hot sauce company, bro. All right, you need a lot of starter money, bro.
So, but it goes to the thing for all the McGregor haters out there, man. The world revolves around him, man. So whatever he wants is gonna get. So were you surprised that Justin Gaethje got?
No. I think
He had. I forgot. He came out and said what he thought about this. I haven't read it yet. I assume it's probably not good, but he was completely passed over for this.
in all honesty, I'm not mad at it just because I think Justin Gaethje had plenty of opportunities, and you have two guys that haven't had a crack at it. So I'm not mad at that. Like, Justin had his chance, right? And in reality, Dustin had his chance too. What's wrong with giving two guys the opportunity for the belt? I think Justin Gaethje is still in position to fight for the belt with the right matchup, but I'm not mad at it at all. And to tell you the truth, I think Justin Gaethje is his own worst enemy, to tell you the truth.
So we have now here Poirier versus McGregor. That's being worked out, obviously. We got Oliveira versus Chandler. Tony Ferguson was just announced to face Benel Darnouche, who was number 9, I think, right?
Down here somewhere.
So that's more of a, if Benel wins, he's in the top 5, and it's basically a Tony Ferguson, can he still hang in the top 5, right?
Exactly.
And then so that leaves Justin Gaethje, who's ranked number 2 without an opponent, right? I haven't heard anything. Who's he going to fight next? Do you give him Dos Anjos? Do you give him Dan Hooker, who just got knocked out? You know,
Well,
who do you give Justin Gaethje?
To tell you the truth, with all this bad stuff that's been going on, as far as people not passing COVID, getting hurt, I think it's to Justin Gaethje's advantage to kind of just wait for the smoke to settle, to tell you the truth, because he doesn't do himself any favor by taking anyone lower than
Rafael Dos Anjos.
Yeah. Then if he faces Dan Hooker, that's a hard matchup right there. He might lose some steam. Benili's already taken. Paul Fielder beating Paul Fielder does not give you a title shot.
No.
Let's keep it real, right?
Sorry,
Same thing with
Dragon.
Islam, Diego, and even Kevin Lee. A la Cuenta, even less.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not to his advantage to even take one of the fights lower than 6. So to me, you just wait out and see if someone gets hurt.
That's crazy. Well, I like the fact that Charles Oliveira is in this title fight. This dude's a long time coming. I think we've seen this guy grow in the UFC for a long time, and just proof all of Tony Ferguson haters out there. Look, you beat Tony Ferguson, what happens?
Title shot.
You get a title shot. And again, I don't really believe Khabib is done. If I were Tony Ferguson, I'd write out this UFC contract, and then I challenge Khabib. You know what? I'll go to Russia and fight for your Eagle Fighting Championship to get this matchup finally made.
Ooh,
right?
hey.
You think Tony Khabib will sign up for that, for his promotion?
I don't see why not.
Anyways, I'm still hoping out for that. We got one more round coming up. We're going to preview UFC 260. Don't go anywhere. It's coming up next.
5-round MMA.
Welcome back. 5th and final round. UFC 260 takes place this Saturday, March 27th at the UFC Apex Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. Streaming exclusively pay-per-view wise on ESPN Plus. You got to pay big bucks for this card here. Main event: Stipe Miocic. His name has changed over time, right? How they pronounced it?
Yeah, it's funny because again, there goes my pop filter.
Stipe.
It goes just like WWE, where like the guys, remember when they first start off, they get the pronunciation is a certain way, and then through a time it changes, and then it goes back to its natural. Like it almost feel like that's it. Remember Jose Aldo, for the longest time they would say
Jose,
yeah,
Jose, and then Cain Velasquez. It was Cain Velasquez. Even Joanna Jacek, it was Joanna, and then I guess they finally get corrected or whatnot. But I'm gonna go with the Stipe Miocic, current.
I just call him steep.
Current
it's a steep climb.
UFC current reigning defending UFC heavyweight champion, the longest heavyweight champion in UFC history, probably. What, the GOAT of the heavyweight division? No. Takes on the ever dangerous, always dangerous Francis Ngannou. I still can't believe people agree to fight this guy, man. This is a rematch. First fight ended. How did it end?
The first fight, I think, went the distance. We can actually look that up. Wow.
Stipe kind of using his tactical advantage, right? His wrestling to nullify the power of Ngannou.
I really hate the way they list them like this, but we'll get to it. But I was
There we go, right there.
5 rounds and it was decision. So yeah, he outworked them.
Outworked them.
I was gonna say this. Thank God Francis Ngannou is a nice guy. Like, imagine this guy with an attitude.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think nobody will go near him.
So this card was bit by the COVID bug this week. The co-main event, which was a featherweight bout between Volkanovski and Brian Ortega, was called off because Volkanovski tested positive for COVID, so he is in isolation now. He came
Come
out,
on, bro.
He came out and said, before I left, I tested negative. When I got there, I tested negative.
So
And
you got
now-
in the plane or what? Or you got when he landed? What did you do?
The
What'd you do?
I know the most recent test came out positive, so now it's called off, but it's going to be rescheduled. I don't know when. Maybe UFC 261. Put it alongside the interim lightweight belt, maybe in May. But anyway, so it went from a very good card to now a very
I don't even
dud.
know. Yeah.
a dud. Is this almost as bad as Usman versus Burns pay-per-view? I mean, you got Sean O'Malley, Thomas Almeida on the main card. I'm talking about the main card pay-per-view wise. So go back to the main card.
Oh yeah. I was gonna show you the Usman card
Oh,
and see if it's that bad.
Yeah.
Let me just click on it real quick. Where's our boy at? Usman right here. Of course, you can't click on it.
There we
People
go.
have horrible.
Navigating the UFC website here.
Yeah. Showing you how good it really is. All right. Let's go see that Usman versus Burns 258. Let's go recap. Just we're just trying to compare. It's down. Is it this? Was this it right here? No,
No,
that's
that's
the one we're looking at.
Yeah.
So you had come on, bro. All right. Oh my goodness. All right, screw it. We're not showing it. We're not showing it
on that one.
That just shows UFC. Your website's trash, bro.
Co-main event now.
Or
With Brian
user.
Ortega gone. It's Tyron
Yeah.
Woodley. His time has come, right? He's a name, but even when he was champion, nobody really took him seriously. Unfortunately, he was talented, but
Yeah, I never once heard anyone tell me like, dude, Tyron Woodley's fighting this weekend.
let's go watch it.
Yeah.
Let's go to the bar and watch it. Right.
Never.
Sean O'Malley, who is being forced down everybody's throats because Dana White loves himself an Irishman, right? Against Thomas Almeida, who was once the promising future of the bantamweight division until he met Cody Garbrandt and got knocked out. Now he's kind of taking he's bringing his way back up. And then you got some Kamal Worthy versus Jamie.
I'm not even gonna try that.
Malarkey. Malarkey. I suppose if you're a hardcore fight fan,
You're in for
but
this one.
are you going to be paying $60, $70 for this card?
I mean, come on. This is a fight night card now.
Yeah.
Let's not. I'm not gonna even joke around.
So
Dude,
we're going
it's
to
a
focus
straight up
to the
fight
main
night.
event. Obviously, Stipe versus Ngannou. Winner gets John Jones, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not like that's
John
the prize,
Jones
right?
Sweepstakes.
The prize isn't you get the heavyweight championship. As a prize winner gets John Jones. How do you
Yeah.
see this fight kind of breaking down?
If
Repeat
it-
of the
if-
first one.
If it goes past the first round, I think Stipe has a 90% chance of winning.
Okay.
If we could get past that first round. In that first round, I think Ngannou has a 90% chance of winning. I think I don't even think we're going to wait for it. I think he's going to go in like the last fight, so just throwing these vicious bombs and I hope you know how to dodge because he lands, it's over. I honestly think Ngannou's going to catch Stipe.
This time around.
I think he's going to catch him this time around. I think he is more focused. I think he addressed the issue that he was having psychologically. And I think that was his major issue going into that first bout. And I think as long as it doesn't pop back up, I feel like he can put him away in the first round.
Okay.
Now, if they get past the first round, I think it's going to be the Stipe show. And just pay attention to what he does because it might be a preview against him versus John Jones.
I think so too. I think that there's always that chance, man. All Francis has to do is land one.
Woo.
All he has to do is land
His
one.
pinky knuckle can land, and I think you out.
So it's so hard to predict that because obviously the tactician, the professional fighter is Stipe Miocic, meaning that he's going to implement his wrestling. He's going to have a game plan, footwork, duck, dive, dodge, dip, dodge, all that stuff here. Where Ngannou, brawler, all he has to do, just like I said, land one, game over.
All I'm saying is, if calf kicks come into play in this fight, I'm losing my damn marbles, bro.
I better
not be able to see no calf kicks.
I think for the sake of the UFC, you want Francis versus John Jones.
Yeah.
That's booked.
It's a sexier bout.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I sound a little weird like that one. I was a little too excited that one. For if you get Stipe versus John Jones, obviously you're gonna have.
Obviously, it's gonna be a good fight. It's just not as sexy.
You're gonna have the good guy, fireman, all-American guy, and Stipe,
the bad boy,
John Jones. So if they could sell it that way for sure. But I think what's more,
a better way to sell is John Jones might get knocked out.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have our picks for the entire card this week on our Instagram account at 5 Round MMA. It's FIVE Round MMA. Big time heavyweight matchup. Rest of the card is sort of lacking for me in name recognition. But hey, fighters got to fight. Fighters got to get paid. I'll still be watching it. Not enough for us to kind of focus an entire card to preview every fight here on this one here, but the big ones we do. So that's it for this week. The guy has a zeros. That's not right.
No, it's correct.
That's not correct. They're gonna have a guy who's 0-0.
God, UFC, fix your website.
Yeah. That's it for this week's show. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure to keep up to date with us on social media, Twitter and Instagram at 5 Round MMA. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment on our YouTube channel, turn on notifications as well. Visit 5roundmma.com. Again, audio version of this podcast is available anywhere you get your podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podomatic, Amazon, anywhere you get your audio podcasts, we're available here. I want to thank you all for tuning in this week. We will see you guys next week. We'll definitely have a recap of UFC 260. We'll have a recap of WWE Fastlane because we're recording this prior to Fastlane. So again, we're a weekend. But I want to thank you all for listening here. Albert, what do you got?
I just want to apologize that we will not be reviewing King Kong versus Godzilla. Sorry, Guillermo. If you want to review it, you're going to have to come to 5 Round MMA and do it.
All right, everybody. See you guys next week.
Thanks for tuning in.